going to put 3 cups of bread flour, which has a higher protein content and it builds up more gluten. And in breads you want gluten. In cakes you don't want gluten, but in breads you do. And then I am going to put my sugar, and I'm going to mix that. I'm doing all this by hand. You can use your mixer, but I'm going to go ahead and use my hand today. And I'm going to put my salt, and I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice and a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I have my yeast. 3 teaspoons of yeast. One recipe called for the zest of a lemon, and the other one called for a zest of an orange. So since I couldn't choose, I'm going to do an orange and a lemon, and I have pre-washed these. I once grated my finger, and so ever since I did that, I'm petrified of this zester. I promise you, it will slice your skin off before you even know what happened. Not fun. Not fun at all. So I'm super careful. And this recipe will make 12 buns. And I'm going to put melted butter, a 1/4 cup, 1 beaten egg, and 1 1/4 cup of warm milk. And I'm just going in with my hand. And I've watched many videos of Paul Hollywood from the British Baking Show. Yeah, I was watching him because, you know, he's an expert on breads. So, and I probably was watching his videos because he's also gorgeous. And I could look at him all day long. Shh, don't tell my husband. And now that I've got all of that incorporated, now I'm going to knead. So according to Paul Hollywood, if you can take it and go like that and it tears, then you're not ready. It has to be smooth. And like I said, I am not a bread expert. So, while I knead this bread, let me tell you what I've learned. So, you can use regular flour for bread. Of course, we all have done that. So, when the flour has a higher concentration of protein, it makes more gluten. And gluten is the stretchy thing, I don't think we're there yet, that forms. And you would think, because I thought, well, that makes it tougher. So if it's tougher, then wouldn't that make the bread tougher? When you make gluten, which is what we're doing here, we're actually kneading and making more gluten. When the yeast makes its bubbles or air, the gluten is strong enough inside the bread. When it rises, the air does not break those strands, so it actually traps pockets of air from the yeast into the bread, which makes the bread fluffier. See, I taught you something today. I did. So now I'm gonna add my raisins, and I've only had hot cross buns with raisins in it, and I probably shouldn't add any because my children probably don't really eat it with the raisins. But in England, I know they use dried fruit peel and currants and dates, and so you could really put anything in your hot cross bun. So I'm gonna put these in, and then guess what? We knead it again. More kneading. I'm telling you, boy, you want to work out? I was gonna put some dried apricots in it. Paul Hollywood puts cut up pears, fresh pears, and cut up really small and cut up apples, and that would be a really good idea. Maybe next year. Right now, my goal is to actually have a hot cross bun that is edible. So we're gonna take our kneaded dough. I keep losing raisins. And we're gonna put this to rise in a bowl covered with saran wrap for an hour and a half. So I'll see you back here in about an hour and a half, and we'll see what's going on with our dough. This is satisfying. This is nice. It'll be rough. So it's been about an hour and a half, and it has about doubled in size, almost. And it smells nice and yeasty. So I'm going to just punch it down, give it a little knead, and we gotta let it rise again, because Mary Berry said we have to double rise it. And I'm losing more things. All right, so we're gonna put that back in. I'm gonna let that rise again. And we'll be back. And look at my hot cross buns. It is nice, and this is the second rising, and look how big and nice it is. So it is time for us to make our buns. This makes 12, so I'm just going to kind of cut the dough in halves until I get, I'm still losing all my raisins, until I get, so that's 4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That wasn't very smart. No. So I'm going to be a little bigger than others. I might have to steal from some and marry to the other. And you can roll them in like this on your hand. And any raisins on the top, take them and push them to the bottom, because they're going to burn. Or push them in. You want them in the bun, you don't want them to burn on the outside. So about like that. So here are my buns. I'm going to put them again, cover them with saran wrap, and I'm going to let them rise for the last time until doubled in size. About. They're not perfect, but I think they're rather cute. They smell good. What makes a hot cross bun special is the cross on top, which is why we eat it on Good Friday. It represents the cross that Jesus died on. And apparently in the 18th and 17th centuries, they put a cross on top of their hot cross buns and their breads to ward off evil spirits. So you cannot have a hot cross bun without the cross. Now traditionally in my house, in the Bahamas growing up, we always put cream in. We always made a mixture of powdered sugar and cream or water, and we put the cross on top. The problem with that is the buns were always hot or warm, and we never wanted to wait because we wanted to eat them, and then it would all melt, and eventually the cross would get lost. So it is also traditional to take a mixture or make a paste of flour and water and put the cross on top of the buns before they bake, and you will have the cross permanent. And so that's what I'm going to do today. So my buns have about almost doubled in size, and they're meeting each other. They're almost kissing. And I know that you can overproof your buns. I'm not sure what they look like when they're overproofed, but I know it's bad, so I don't want to risk it. And I'm just gonna go with this. It looks pretty good. And I'm gonna cut across with my scissors. I'm just gonna snip, snip. This one looks a little wonky, but it's gonna still get eaten. I promise you, these are gonna get eaten. Hopefully not by me, not all. Okay, so now I have my traditional crosses cut, and there's no evil spirits that are going to damage or be near my buns. And I have my flour and water paste, and I probably cut that hole too big. Now, yeah, probably too big. I'm gonna make my crosses. So. And you're supposed to do them like this. Not individual, but all in one line. And my hot cross buns are ready to go into the oven. Because this is a traditional British recipe, all my recipes had the oven temperatures in Celsius. So I had to try to figure it out, but it doesn't really correlate. So I'm gonna do it to 265 until they're golden brown, about 18 to 20 minutes. And then I have a different topping, but I think it'll be rather nice on these hot cross buns. And look at our buns. They're nice and golden, and they have that beautiful cross on it. And I went ahead, and our lemon and our orange that we zested, I went ahead and put the juice of the lemon and the orange with some water and sugar, and I made a simple syrup, and I reduced it till it was nice and thick. It kind of caramelized a little bit on me, but actually I still think it tastes really good. I actually think it tastes a little better. And I'm gonna go ahead and glaze my hot cross buns. I know you can't see the steam that's coming from it, but it's pretty hot. I think I did a good job. I think I did. I'm proud of me. Very proud. For once, I made bread. And it doesn't suck. Nope.